Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about pure psychometry from D. Christopher and the 1914. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel, and as always, thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So if you have been following my channel for any amount of time up till this point, alright, you will know that I'm quite a big 1914 fan, alright, as I'm sure many of you are. You know, I enjoy their branding, you know, I enjoy the material that they put out, and well, I have done quite a number of reviews for 1914 products on my channel. And D. Christopher has been really kind to me, you know, really generous with me as well, ever since I started working on this channel. And well, yeah, today I'll be talking about pure psychometry, which he really kindly sent me a set of as well to chat about on this show. So, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, right, I've been performing for quite a number of years up to this point, alright, but psychometry is an effect or is a routine that I've not yet performed that often. Alright, it's something that I'm really interested in because I've heard, you know, many stories, right? And in the literature, Anneman, Austerlin, Lee Earl, you know, swear by psychometry, right? John Riggs. So it's been an effect that I've wanted to try in my own, you know, work, but I've not done it very often. I mean, there was once I did it and things didn't go so well, alright? If we have time at the end of this video, I'll tell you a bit about that story, and perhaps, you know, if you are going to be doing psychometry, you can kind of avoid this problem from happening to yourself. Alright, but let's talk about pure psychometry, alright? So this is from D. Christopher, alright? These are props that have been designed by him, alright? So when you purchase pure psychometry, it comes in this large black envelope, alright? With the signature kind of 1914 gold stamping on the front. And inside, you will receive a total of like 5 physical items, alright? So let's get to them right now. So inside the envelope, you will get your stuff. First of all, you will receive a blindfold, all right? So it's a beautiful blindfold, okay? A really nice long blindfold. It's like a velvet kind of a material, all right? Completely opaque, of course, so you can't see through it. This will be used, you know, during the course of the routine that D will teach you. And of course, along with the blindfold, you will receive the main players, all right, in this particular package, the bags themselves, all right? So what happens in this version of psychometry is, you know, you would hand out 4 of these bags to 4 different participants, all right, spectators in the audience, and you tell them, you know, that you'll be turning your back in a while, and you would like them to just place a personal object of some kind inside the bag, all right? So they could place, I don't know, their mobile phone or something like that, and they'll just pull the bag shut. And so you begin, right? I mean, you can turn your back, you know, or you can start, you know, blindfolding yourself. So once your sight has been impaired, okay, they place their objects into the bags. They are then brought up onto the stage, all right, perhaps placed onto a table in front of you. Someone could mix them up, okay, and then from there, you, blindfolded, you will take the bags one by one, kind of sense the energy from the bags, reach in there, remove the object that is inside the bag, toss the bag aside, and then from there, still blindfolded, okay, you will start to describe, you know, whatever the object is, and then from there, give a reading about, you know, the owner perhaps, you know, some other bits of business that you couldn't possibly know, and then eventually you will be able to kind of return it to the correct person who loaned you the object. And then essentially you're going to repeat the same thing, all right, 3 more times. Okay, so you'll do that for all the bags, and at the end of the day, all the objects will be returned back to their respectful owners. So along with these props, all right, you will get also tutorial videos, okay, which will be available on your 1914 account. All you need to know will be taught to you on the videos by D. Christopher, all right? So he'll introduce you to props, he'll explain to you what psychometry is, he will teach you how to use the props, how to perform the routine in its most basic form, and then he will also give you 5 different show structures, all right, in which you can use these psychometry bags. And of course, you know, everything is taught really well. I mean, it is the 1914, all right? So if you've got their stuff before, you know the high quality of their teaching material. So I think what would be of more interest to all of you out there, you know, are the bags themselves, okay? Now, the bags are really, really well made, okay? They're really well made. I mean, I do know that they are just bags, right? They're just velvet bags, but These feel really nice, all right? I hope I can give you a bit of a close-up on that, all right? Really high quality, velvety material, and they look really plain, really ordinary as well, okay? So these are what the bags look on the outside, the standard drawstring bags. Some thought has gone into the construction of these bags, okay? And let me explain, because inside the bags, all right, inside each of them, there is an inner layer which is quite tough, all right, quite a strong material. Now, D actually made it this way because you never know what you're gonna get, all right, when you have people place their objects inside the bags, right? So if you're gonna get, something that might be potentially a little bit sharp, I don't know, keys or something like that, all right, they could potentially, puncture the bags, right? And you wouldn't want that to happen, okay? Otherwise, you've got to buy another set, right? So yeah, these are going to be strong enough to withstand, most kind of objects, right? Also, in case the spectator places in something that is, a bit heavier, right? That's going to weigh the bag down. It's not going to tear the bag as well, all right? So the inner lining of the bag, I thought was really great. So the bags themselves, the dimensions of the bag, I measured them previously. I hope I can remember. I think it's about like 6 inches across the top over here and 8 inches down the side, okay, which works out to be about, I don't know, 20 centimeters by like 14 centimeters or so, all right? So it's a nice size, I think, because this will take, most personal objects that people would have, with them, right? A mobile phone, for example, a pair of shades perhaps, they would definitely go in there and it'll just fit in, not a problem at all. So let's talk about the method, all right? The method for pseudo psychometry that has been applied to the bags. Now, if you are familiar with, these sorts of devices, all right, the effect itself of psychometry, the method won't be a surprise to you, okay? It is what you think it is, okay? I'm going to put it out there. It is what you think it is, but it's been done in 2 ways, all right? In 2 ways. One of the ways, I think, well, it's kind of easy to use, okay? But, well, these days I'm not that confident, okay, with my failing eyesight, okay? I'm not that confident as before, in my younger days. But there is another method as well, all right, to work the bags, and that one you're not going to miss, okay? It's really obvious, really great. Even using blindfold techniques, all right, it's not going to be a problem whatsoever, all right? But for those of you with who are blessed with better eyesight than me, the first kind of method or the system is going to work really great. So the bags, for all intents and purposes, they are ordinary bags, and people are going to handle them, all right? So, in terms of whether they are examinable, I would think so, they are not going to find anything, amiss with them, all right, just by handling the bags. If they are examined just really casually, they're not going to find anything, all right? And especially if they are examined like individually, separately, right? Then I think there's no way that they are going to find anything at all. But yeah, these props are really great. They look great, they feel great. The method is very well applied to them, all right? So you're not going to have any problems at all performing the routine. I think the only thing that you need to ask yourself is, well, whether you can perform psychometry, okay? And this comes to kind of like what I am concerned about, right? Because as strong as the effect purportedly is, okay, supposedly is, I don't have much experience with it, okay? And I think, well, the strength of the routine comes, to me at least, right, not in the returning of the object to the correct person, I think the strength of the routine comes from the reading itself, all right? What you say about the objects that you are handling, all right? And, the acting and what you say and the kind of information that you are able to reveal. Returning the object to the correct person is just kind of like the little full stop at the end of the routine, right? So I think you do need to ask yourself if you have the ability, to make it as entertaining as possible. For me, I think psychometry, the readings portion is kind of like Q&A, all right, but using the objects, right? So you can't really like practice Q&A, right, at home, right? You probably have to just go out and do it, and after a while you'll probably kind of get better at doing it, right? But yeah, so the readings portion, I think, really important. Also, something to consider, all right, is that the routine as it stands typically doesn't have like a climax. There's no like finale punch to the routine, right? Because you're essentially doing the same thing like 4 times in a row. Now, D. Christopher gives you 5 different structures, right, in the tutorial video, all right? All of them are great. He gives you ideas about how to structure the routine so that there is a sense of build, all right, or some kind of a logical sense to use the bags under, okay? Out of the 5, there's one that allows you to apparently, you do your reveals for 3 bags, and then for the last object, you don't even remove it yet, okay? You have the last person stand, and then without touching the bag, you can kind of tell him what he placed inside, okay? That kind of a thing. So he's got that, and then he's got ideas about how to use it throughout the show as well. So, I mean, you do need to consider the structure of your psychometry routine, I think, in order to make it entertaining and engaging. So yeah, if you are, looking for a set of props, to perform psychometry, all right, then I can highly recommend this set from D. Christopher because, they're really well made, really well put together. They will last you a really long time, and the tutorial as well is really comprehensive. So before I go, let me squeeze in this horror psychometry story of mine, all right? So I was performing psychometry, all right, for a group of people in a stage show, in a smaller stage show. And I had 4 people stand. I gave out the 4 bags, all right. Not using this set, all right. I was using something else. I blindfolded myself, all right. I had them place objects into the bags, all right. So they brought the bags onto the stage. Someone was on stage with me. They mixed up the bags, and then I began the routine. So I did it for the first one. That was fine. I did it for the second person. That was fine. When it came to the third bag, I was describing the object, okay, blindfolded, and obviously it was hitting, all right. I was describing just the physical object itself. I described it, and then what happened? It was like a kind of like a bracelet, I remember, all right. So I described it, and then I started describing the person whom it belonged to, okay. So as I was doing that, I sensed that something was wrong, okay, and the person who loaned me the object didn't seem to connect with what I was describing about her, all right? I mean, even like, the length of her hair and, the kind of accessories that she would have on herself and things like that, right? Physical attributes, I suppose. And it was missing, and I had to just end it by just returning the object to her. And I finished the last bag, and that was it. So when I took off the blindfold, I realized that what happened was the lady, all right, whom I gave the bag to, didn't want to participate, and she passed the bag to the person beside her. Yeah, so that happened after I was blindfolded. So I basically got the object from another person, but I was describing her, the original person, all right? So that really didn't go down very well, all right? But yeah, so these kinds of things can happen, okay? So, if anything, do take away something from that little story, and maybe come up with a sequence of events that can kind of negate that from happening to you. So once again, I want to thank D. Christopher over at the 1914 for really generously sending this set over to me so I can chat about it on this show. If you'd like to pick up a copy of Pure Psychometry for yourselves, I will leave the link in the description box down below. So that's all for today's episode, guys. Thanks for watching. I do hope you got something out of it and enjoyed it. And till the next episode, do stay safe, take care of yourselves, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Chats.